Ah, the PS Vita, the portable console that suddenly released that also failed commercially. While it didn't sell well and was discontinued a few years later, there was some great games and ports on this console, and the homebrew community is still going strong to this day. However, the Persona series got some games too, like Persona 4 Golden, but there was another one as well, and it gave birth to a spin-off series that I like to call the Dancing Trilogy. So, let's take a look at the game that started the trilogy. That game being Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Released on September 29, 2015 exclusively on the PS Vita, this is Persona 4 Dancing All Night. The story takes place after the events of Persona 4 Golden. Rise asks Yu Narukami and the rest of the team to dance alongside her for an upcoming festival. Later on, they meet with another fellow idol, Kanami, and soon find out that Kanami's idol group has gone missing due to a rumor going on about the video that teleports you into the Midnight Stage. And it's up to Yu and his friends to rescue the idols and stop whoever created the stage. The story itself is honestly creative. Granted, it is repetitive by using the Midnight Channel again just now as an idol stage, but still a unique way to have a story mode in a rhythm game. You'll learn more about the group's struggles when they became idols, so there are some genuine emotional moments where you feel bad for Kanami's idol group. Plus, there are some great comedic moments from the main cast as well. The gameplay of P4D is very simple. It's a mix between a visual novel and a rhythm game. The visual novel gameplay comes from the story segments. Just like any other visual novel, you read and press the X button to continue on with the story, as well as give responses to certain dialogues. None of which impacts the story, but they can lead to some funny moments. Then we get to the main show, the rhythm gameplay. Just like most rhythm games, notes will appear from the center of the screen and you have to hit the corresponding button in time with the music. Some notes also require you to hit two buttons at the same time or hold the button down the duration of the note, since the game requires you to play using the 6 space buttons on the PS Vita. Scratch rings will also appear from time to time during the song, and in order to hit it with the beat, you use either the analog sticks or the L and R buttons. Fever rings can also appear during the song, and when you hit them 3 times, you enter fever mode during certain parts of the song to gain more points. The hype gauge at the top of the screen shows how well you are doing in the game and shows how hyped the crowd is with your dancing. If the hype gauge is not hype enough, you fail the song. It's simple as that. Once you finish a song, you'll get a ranking based on your performance, with King Crazy being the highest rank and only possible if you were able to hit every single note with a perfect or great hit. Getting an okay hit results in a low rating and you'll lose your note combo. You'll also earn in-game money after passing a song that allows you to buy new items in Tanaka's shop to help with the gameplay, or you can buy accessories and costumes for the characters that you can dress them up. Some items will help make the game easier, but it'll decrease your score and money. But items that make the game more challenging will earn you more points and money. So it's up to you if you want to make the game more harder or more easier. The overall gameplay is super fun and fast paced and can be quite challenging to newcomers of rhythm games. You really have to understand the gameplay if you want to succeed with playing songs in a higher difficulty, and the hard difficulty is no joke. It's extremely difficult. But once you master the gameplay, it's incredibly satisfying to see a King Crazy in the results screen. Still though, the overall game is fun and adds a lot of challenge to it. Each song is played by a different member of the team. Of course you got Yu, Yosuke, Chie, Yukiko, Teddy, Kanji, Rise, and Naoto. For Dancing All Night, we got some exclusive playable characters like Nanako, Kanami, and Margaret. Cool thing is that all the English VAs from Persona 4 Golden return to voice their characters again. Well, except for Rise, as her VA, Laura Bailey, couldn't voice her due to scheduling issues, so Ashley Birch took the role. But it's really nice to see and hear these characters again, and if you played through Persona 4 Golden, you'll definitely understand the feeling as they are one of the highlights of the game. Aside from the story mode, there's free dance mode as well, where there's a variety of songs from Persona 4 that you can play through, from new arrangements of classic songs to brand new remixes that were created by well-known DJs. Here you can choose from which songs to play, and you can customize your dancer and who you want your dance partner to be. As you continue to play more songs, you'll be able to unlock new songs to play as well. The game also got some DLC as well, with more songs, costumes, and accessories to use. But besides that, we also got 3 new playable characters, each with their own song remixes. You have Adachi, with his dance song being a remix of the song The Fog. You also have Marie, who joins the party, with her song being the original version of Break Out Of. And surprisingly, we got Hatsune Miku, with her song being a remix of the song Heaven, which is honestly really cool. The DLCs themselves have a great amount of content, plus it's also really cool to have more playable characters within the game, all of which were really good choices. Overall, this game is jam-packed with so much to do, with a good amount of songs and remixes as well as a unique story mode. Persona 4 Dancing All Night is honestly a great start to what will become a trilogy of games. Persona 4 Dancing All Night received generally positive reviews from critics, with some praising the soundtrack, the character customization, and the unique feel of the game, and the game sold over 94,000 physical copies within its debut week in Japan, which is awesome! Again, this was a very fun game to play. It's challenging with its gameplay but satisfying once you pull it off. The story mode, the characters, the music, the amount of content it has, it certainly delivered one hell of a party, and I highly recommend giving this game a shot if you're a fan of rhythm games. So with this success, we not only got 1, but 2 new Persona dancing games. So let's take a look at the next game, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight.
Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight.
Released on December 4th, 2018 for both the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4, this is Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. The story is that the twin wardens, Caroline and Justine, have transported Ren and Mamiya and the rest of the Phantom Thieves to Club Velvet. The twins explain there that due to a competition the rest of the sisters have made, they present them with a challenge. Can they create the best and wildest party at the club? So now, it's just an endless night to dance away. The story itself is pretty underwhelming when you think about it. It's much more simpler and lighthearted compared to Persona 4 Dancing's story. There's really not much room for potential here if it's just about a competition, yet in reality, there's no real ending as it's just an endless night to dance away. So it's kind of disappointing that they didn't think hard on making a unique story. The gameplay is basically the same as Persona 4 Dancing, so there's not much to talk about here, as Persona 5 Dancing focuses solely on the rhythm gameplay as there's no story mode. Once you complete some songs, you'll be able to unlock more songs to play, and since the story mode is now gone, it's been replaced with social links, which is basically watching funny moments with a specific member of the group and learn little information about them. More social links will unlock after you complete some side missions. These missions can be like wearing costumes during some songs or hitting this amount of perfect hits. After viewing these links, you'll either earn accessories, costumes, or settings to make the game easier or harder. So in reality, this is the only way to unlock more content in the game. The shop is now gone, so instead, you gotta earn these features yourselves. The cool thing about the songs is that each character has their own specific dance moves based on their personality, which is a nice touch to be honest. And of course, all the members of the team are playable here. Ren, Morgana, Ryuji, An, Yusuke, Makoto, Futaba, Haru, and Caroline and Justine as well. However, when you look at the list of songs that are available to play, most of them are just filler. Either the original version of a song or a music video-esque song featuring a regular version of the song. And the list is smaller compared to Persona 4 Dancing, which is a shame. It just seems like the developers got lazy and decided to put the same song over and over again to just fill in the list. Now before we move on to my thoughts, critic reviews, and DLC, let's just move on straight to the final game in the trilogy, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight.
Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight.
Released on the same day as Persona 5 Dancing, this is Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight. The story itself is very similar to Persona 5 Dancing. and where it's a competition between the teams of both games. Only this time, we're focusing on the characters from Persona 3. Of course, you can play as all the members of the team from Persona 3: Makoto, Yukari, Junpei, Akihiko, Aigis, Mitsuru, Ken, Fuka, and Elizabeth, all of which have their own unique dance style. And to be honest, there's not much I can say now since Persona 3 Dancing is exactly like Persona 5 Dancing. The UI is very similar to each other, the gameplay is exactly the same, the social links are here instead of a story mode, the song list has a lot of filler songs, almost everything is exactly like Persona 5 Dancing. And that's the problem with both Persona 5 and Persona 3 Dancing. They are almost exactly the same thing. It's like they literally copy and pasted everything and only changed it to match the game's aesthetics. It's actually pretty pathetic when you compare it between the two. It shows how lazy Atlus was when they were developing these two games. They could have done so much better, but sadly, they just didn't. Now let's move on to the DLC. Again, most of the DLC are extra songs, accessories, and costumes, but we also got 5 new playable characters with their own songs. For Persona 5 Dancing, we got Akechi and Lavenza. And for Persona 3 Dancing, we got Blaberus, Sho, Shinjiro, and Theodore. But the weird thing is that you can play as Akechi or Lavenza in either Persona 5 or Persona 3 Dancing. The same thing goes with the Persona 3 characters. You can play them in Persona 5 Dancing. I mean, shouldn't they be reserved based on the game they appeared in? It's just out of place to see Akechi in Persona 3 Dancing and Labrys in Persona 5 Dancing. I don't know, but this just seems like an odd choice to do. So in the end of the day, both games came out on the same day simultaneously, which is cool, but reviews for both games were mixed with critics, with many praising the graphics, songs, modifier system, and customization, the main focus of criticism being the rhythm gameplay, being awkward and cluttered, the social events being not as in-depth or interesting, and the lack of content with both games only having 25 songs, with some songs being the same ones, either the original or remix versions, as well as some missing characters who weren't in the game, like for example the female protagonist from Persona 3 Portable. Honestly, both Persona 5 and Persona 3 Dancing are fine games, they get the job done, but these games are such great examples of laziness. They might have some good remixes of some iconic songs from the games and good graphics, but that won't save the fact that the developers didn't try hard or show any potential when it came toward its content. And hey, around this time, Persona 4 Dancing All Night was re-released on PlayStation 4 with better graphics and a high frame rate. But the only way to get the game is by purchasing the special edition bundle of Persona 5 and Persona 3 Dancing. You know, it's great that Persona 4 Dancing got a remaster, but why the hell would you lock it away in a bundle? Come on Atlus, you gotta make it available as a standalone digital release. And that's really it for the Persona Dancing Trilogy. The games themselves are still fun to play, no doubt, but for me, the best will always be Persona 4 Dancing, due to its large amount of content. I still recommend getting Persona 5 and Persona 3 Dancing, but I recommend getting the special edition bundle featuring both games and the HD remaster of Persona 4 Dancing when it's on sale, as it's basically the better deal. But here's the main question for all of you. Is Persona 4 Dancing a visual novel, even with its dancing gameplay? Well, I recommend you be the judge on that question. Anyways, that's all I have for you all. Give these games a shot and form your own opinions on them. And I'll see you all in the next video.